Alright guys, welcome back. It's Justice here from tutorialscampus.com, and today I want to tell you about the chat component. In the previous video I told you everything about parent component, what it's used for, and the purpose of it, right? So actually I've made some couple of changes. So if you go to your app component.html file, you'll see that I've gotten rid of everything, and I've put in a plain HTML structure there, right? So the only thing I change here is the title tag, and what I added some h1 here. So if you save and run everything inside the browser, you see the only thing running is what tutorialscamp.com app is running, which is nothing but the only thing here. So there's nothing what here. So let's talk about our chat component. So how can we actually create a chat component? All right, so why do we even have to create a chat component? So you remember I told you in Angular we have a app.parent component.ts, right? So why is it that that component actually is not enough for us to work with it? Why do we need another component too? All right, just imagine that we are creating a shopping list application. No, not even a shopping list, a product list application, right? So we may be tempted to uh, add all our product what inside one component. Okay, that's good, we can do it. But what if we create another chat component and we group all the milk what inside that chat component, and we'll create another chat component and group all the drinks inside what uh, that component. In this way, if you want to access all the milk, we just go to the milk component and we just what access all the files. If you want to access all the drinks, we just go to the drinks component and access those files. Why do you need to do that? Because it makes our code what clean, easy, and what organized. And basically you can do everything with what one component, but it is not the best way. If you learn Angular to the fullest part and then what go with the modern way which most companies prefer, you're going to be creating components based on what the fast that you are going to work on that component. So how can you actually create a chat component? Again, you can go ahead and then what type create your own chat component manually, right? Manually. And you can also use the command prompt. So that's the two ways of creating components. Either you go with manually, or you use the command prompt. And the command prompt, I think, is the fastest way instead of what using creating it manually. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and then go by the command prompt instead of going in there by the manual, because that's really a hard way. Because you creating one file after the other, it's not actually bad to do it like that, because it gives you understand. But since that command line is doing everything for you, just try some one line of code and everything is bam generated for you fast, and you are there to go. So let's actually open our command our command line, and then let me show you how. Lazy teacher. Alright, so navigate to your projects folder, and then let's use this code, which is ng generate component my chat. Alright, so let me explain what this thing does here. So ng here is nothing but it means in Angular command line, right? And the g here is generate, which means generate whatever follows here. So whatever follows here is C. So it actually means C means here component. So what we are saying is what Angular command line, hey, generate component. And what component? My child. My child here actually is the name of the name of the component what you want to create. So you can actually call it anything, but I just prefer to call it what my child. So simple, right? Simple. That's it. So go ahead and then hit enter, and you can see everything is what running here. It's gonna take some couple of time, so I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so check this out. So you can see we have gotten a couple of files here, 1 2 3 4, right? Alright, so let me actually go to Visual Studio and explain it to you what these files do, right? Okay, so open Visual Studio. inside your app folder, you can see we have gotten one folder which is my file, my child, right? That's the name of the component that we just created. So go ahead and open your my child component here. See, you can gotten 4 files here. 1 2 3 4. Okay, let's explore what each and every one does here. Okay, I think I've even explained what they do in the over the previous video in our parent component and stuff, right? You can watch my previous video and you understand whatever they do. So what I actually want to do is you can see the main file, the main component is here, my child.component.ts, right? So if you open it, you can see you have gotten the selector, which is nothing that identify with what the child component, and we have gotten template viewer, which is nothing but what the path of the HTML file which belongs to this component. You can see we have my child.component.html, which is nothing but this, and I've gotten the CSS file that belongs to what this component here, which is what my child.component.css, which is nothing but what this file right here. There's nothing wild here. Everything here has been what explained. Everything that you may find a difficult new here be what this on init function, right? Oh boy, this dot init function, but pay no mind to that because I will explain it as we are coding. If you want to get a clear overview of it, just understand that it's what it will run whenever you run this component. It will be the first thing to run whenever you run your component. So we may be asking why do we have also constructor here. Constructor actually run in the first whenever we run our application each class, right? Alright, don't worry, I will explain everything to you one by one, okay? But now what we want to focus on is our child component. So we have created our child component here. So how can you actually use it? Remember I told you that in Angular the main entry point of our application is this main.ts file, and what does this main.ts file do is it bootstrap the main module here, the parent module here. So you can see it right here that is bootstrap the module, the parent module here, into what the browser. So what it's actually doing is that it is bootstrapping the parent module to be run inside the browser. Alright, so if all our code have been bootstrap inside it parent module, how will Angular know that we have this my child component? How will Angular know that? Angular can only identify that inside this app.module.ts, because this becomes the second entry point of our Angular application. So inside app.module.ts, what we need to do to tell Angular that we have some my child component here to do is to import that child component here, right? Import that child component here and register it. So again, when you create your command line, Angular will do all this stuff for you. It has done it already for me, so there's no need to import it again and register it. But open your child component. When I open my child component.ts, I can see the class name was my child component, right? And if I open my app module.ts, the fact we are actually importing is the class is my child component, which is nothing this class right here, and we are actually importing it from my child.component.ts file, which is nothing but this bad file right here, right? So remember I said each component must be what the fuck is that? All components must be when they are imported, they need to be declared, right? So once they are imported, they need to be declared inside the declaration selector, and that's exactly what is happening here. So if we have created a child component, how can we actually use it, right? Okay, open your child component and let me show you something. So there's the selector which is the identity reference, the identity of this child component, which is app.mychild. So if you want to run this application, this child component inside the browser, you need to use this selector here, which is nothing but the identity of this child component right here. So go ahead and open your main app, the main component inside your the main app.component.html, and then append this character here. What you need to do is what, append this character here. Again, remember, this is not an HTML tag, right? It's a custom this is my chart here, so you use it as an HTML tag with what, opening tag and what, a closing tag, just like the way HTML elements look like. So inside my chart component.ts, you can see we have gotten the HTML element of it, which my chart.component.html is the only content here is what, my chart. I want to make it my chart component works. Alright, so because we have what, actually appended it inside app component.ts, it actually means that we are running this chart component what, inside what, the parent what, the parent component, which is what, the nothing.app component.ts. And remember, this app.components.html belongs to what, is the HTML files, this parent components right here. And the fact that we are running the chart component here basically means that it will be what, run inside the parent what component. So let me go ahead and then open the browser and show you all the nonsense that I'm talking about. Alright, so you have seen, you have gotten tutorialscamp.com app is running from the parent component, and you have gotten my chat component works. This actually come from the tutorialscamp. This actually come from the parent what component. So open, let me show you what I mean. Inside the app component.com HTML, you can see you have gotten tutorialscamp.com, right? Remember, this file is the HTML for the parent component, and this my chat app that here is identity of what this component. So that's the chat component that we are running inside the parent component. So see it this way, this line here actually come direct from the parent component, and this my chart here has been, it's a chart component that has been what, embedded into the what, the parent component. So now on this screen, what we are actually seeing here is what, a one component, but this one component you have gotten what, it's a single component, right? But inside a single component you have gotten what, a chart what components. Remember, I told you in the introduction that component can contain other components. What, that's actually what is happening here. We have actually embedded our chart component inside what, the parent component. So the takeaway only here is that when you are creating a chart component, when you are creating a chart component, go with this sentence, ng generate component, then whatever name you want to name your component. And once the component has been what, created, go to your app model.ts file and what, import the class from what, that chart component. And once that component has been imported, you need to register it, and the registration is done in what, in the declaration selector of what, the model, right? So you append the model, the class that is imported into what, the declaration, what, the declaration array. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you have